kind of just preventing the skin from crushing, and if it's sufficiently strong, it's not doing much, and it's probably just adding extra weight. So if I wrap it and release, I can potentially push the foam out, or at least melt it out with acetone. But it's perfectly reasonable also to just leave the foam in there, and you'll end up getting a much, it'll feel probably a lot more rigid when you're playing around with it. But either way is good depending on what you guys want to do. Okay, so I'm going to glove up, start doing this. So a couple of the basic rules when we're in this shop are, if you're using some thing like scissors or these scrapers or anything like that and you get resin on it, that's fine. Make sure before you leave you clean it off, right? And obviously that rule hasn't been followed very well, but it makes things a lot, things are a lot much more of a pain in the ass to clean up when they're there's cured epoxy on it than when it's wet. And so that's pretty much the biggest thing, is that if you spill epoxy on the table, clean it up before you leave. If you spill it on your tools, clean it up before you leave. It's composite slab, things are going to be dirty, but just make sure you clean it up before you leave. Alright, I'm going to get some epoxy. So I'm going to have all this material for you hopefully next week. We're going to have tons of these cups, mixers, we're going to have this sealant tape, and then if you guys know you want to use some braided sleeve, or you want some certain type of fabric, tell me and we'll try and get that ordered for you. Otherwise, we'll pretty much just be dealing with what you can find in here that isn't specifically for some other group. Okay, so I'm going to get a couple squirts of this wet system. This stuff is really nice. We'll probably just be using it because these pumps are self-metered, so I get maybe like 3 or 4 pumps of this guy. What was that, 3? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then just so happens that this guy is exactly proportional. This is like a 5-to-1. 5 pumps of this guy will be exactly the right amount of hardener for 5 pumps of the resin. So that's super convenient, because otherwise you gotta do things volumetrically or do things by weight. That means breaking out of scale. This is a lot easier. Okay, so my basic thing here is I'm just going to start with the thing that's going on first. So I'm going to take this unidirectional and I'm just going to basically wrap it around here. Okay, I'm going to wet it out and wrap it around here, and then I'm going to take some of that fabric right there.